I am loved by the universe. From the moment we enter this world, we're taught that life requires effort, struggle, and constant striving. We learn to push against the natural flow, believing that force and control will bring us what we desire. This deeply ingrained pattern creates an invisible wall between us and the endless love the universe wants to shower upon us. Resistance manifests in many subtle ways. Through anxiety about the future, doubt about our worthiness, fear of letting go, and the persistent belief that we must work hard for everything good in life. This resistance acts like a dam, blocking the natural flow of universal love and support that constantly seeks to reach us. Surrender is not about giving up or becoming passive. Rather, it's a conscious choice to release our grip on how we think things should be. When we surrender, we acknowledge that the universe has a greater perspective than our limited human view. We open ourselves to possibilities beyond what our minds can conceive. The art of surrender begins with awareness. Notice how your body feels when you're resisting. The tension in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest, the shallow breathing. These physical sensations are signals inviting you to let go. As you become aware of resistance in your body, consciously choose to soften. Allow your muscles to relax, your breath to deepen, and your mind to quiet. Think of surrender like floating in water. When we struggle and fight against the water, we sink. But when we relax and trust, the water naturally supports us. The universe operates in the same way. Its love and support are constant. Like the buoyancy of water, our only task is to stop struggling against it. This release of resistance creates space for miracles to enter. When we surrender our preconceived notions about how love should look or how support should arrive, we allow the universe to surprise us with its infinite creativity. Often, what shows up is far better than what we could have planned or manipulated into being. Practicing surrender in small daily moments builds trust in this process. Start with simple situations. Surrendering the need to control traffic, releasing attachment to how others respond to you. Letting go of rigid expectations about how your day should unfold. Each small act of surrender creates a crack in the wall of resistance, allowing more love to flow through. As you deepen into surrender, you may notice old patterns of control trying to reassert themselves. This is natural. The ego seeks safety in familiar patterns of striving and forcing. When this happens, gently remind yourself that you're safe to let go. The universe has supported you all along, even when you were fighting against it. Surrender also involves releasing the story that love must be earned or deserved. The universe's love is not conditional on your achievements, behavior, or worthiness. Like the sun that shines on everything equally, universal love is always present, waiting only for you to step out from under the umbrella of resistance. This journey of surrender is ongoing. Each day brings new opportunities to choose between resistance and release. As you consistently choose surrender, you'll find yourself carried by a flow of grace that makes life feel effortless. You'll discover that the universe has always been conspiring in your favor, waiting patiently for you to stop resisting its embrace. The path opens before you when you surrender. Trust that the universe knows the way. Release the need to figure everything out. Let go of the struggle to make things happen. Simply allow yourself to be loved, supported and guided by the infinite wisdom that orchestrates the entire cosmos. In surrender, you find the peace and love you've been seeking all along. The universe delights in effortlessly supporting you. The universe operates with an inherent joy in supporting all of its creations, including you. Like a loving parent who delights in seeing their child thrive, the universe takes pleasure in orchestrating circumstances, connections, and opportunities that enhance your journey through life. This support flows naturally and effortlessly, requiring no struggle or strain on your part. Every day, the universe sends subtle signs of its loving presence and guidance. These signs appear as seemingly random coincidences, unexpected help from strangers, or the perfect solution arriving just when needed. Perhaps you think of someone, and they call moments later. Maybe you stumble upon exactly the information you were seeking without actively searching for it. These synchronicities are more than mere chance. They are the universe's way of showing you that you are seen, supported, and guided. Divine guidance manifests in countless forms. An intuitive nudge to take a different route home, leading to a meaningful encounter, a book falling off a shelf containing precisely the wisdom you need, or a chance conversation that opens doors to new possibilities. The universe speaks through feelings, symbols, repeated numbers, and natural phenomena. Even challenges and obstacles often serve as divine redirections, guiding you toward a path better suited to your highest good. When you begin to notice these signs of universal support, you'll discover they've always been present. Like tuning into a radio frequency that's been broadcasting continuously, developing awareness of universal guidance simply requires adjusting your receptivity. Start paying attention to the small miracles that pepper your daily life. The perfect parking spot that opens up, the unexpected discount that arrives when funds are tight, or the stranger who shares exactly the words you needed to hear. The universe's support often arrives in ways we couldn't have planned or orchestrated ourselves. Its wisdom surpasses our limited perspective, bringing solutions more elegant and comprehensive than we could have imagined. This support flows most freely when we release our rigid expectations about how help should appear and remain open to receiving assistance in unexpected forms. Stories of synchronicity abound in human experience, each one demonstrating the universe's delight in creating magical moments of connection and support. Consider the job seeker who mentions their search to a casual acquaintance, only to learn of an unlisted position perfectly matching their skills. Or the artist who randomly meets their ideal mentor while taking a different route to work. These coincidences reveal the intricate web of support constantly being woven around us. The universe's support becomes more apparent when we approach life with wonder and gratitude rather than skepticism and doubt. Like a flower naturally turning toward the sun, we can orient ourselves toward divine guidance by maintaining an attitude of openness and appreciation. This doesn't mean we become passive observers of life, but rather active participants who trust in the universal flow while taking inspired action. Cultivating awareness of universal support is similar to developing any other skill. It strengthens with practice and attention. Begin by acknowledging the small ways you're supported each day. The green lights when you're running late, the unexpected compliment that lifts your spirits, or the sudden clarity that arrives during a moment of uncertainty. As you recognize and appreciate these instances of support, you'll naturally attract more of them into your experience. Remember, the universe's delight in supporting you isn't dependent on your worthiness or achievements. Just as the sun shines on all beings without discrimination, universal support is your natural birthright. The only requirement is your willingness to notice and receive it. As you embrace this truth, you'll find yourself moving through life with greater ease and joy, knowing that you are always supported by the loving intelligence of the universe. Divine love flows when you stop trying to earn it. The deepest truth about divine love is that it has always been yours, flowing abundantly and eternally, requiring nothing from you in return. Yet many of us have internalized the belief that we must somehow prove our worth to receive this love. We carry within us an invisible scorecard, constantly measuring our achievements, good deeds, and spiritual practices against an imagined standard of worthiness. This perpetual striving creates a barrier between us and the very love we seek. When we believe we must earn love through our actions, we unknowingly reject the unconditional love that is our birthright. It's like standing in a flowing river while desperately trying to create water. The very effort prevents us from experiencing what's already surrounding us. The universe operates on principles of unconditional giving, much like the sun that shines without asking if we deserve its warmth. Divine love functions in the same way. It radiates constantly, abundantly, and without discrimination. Your worthiness is not determined by your accomplishments, your spiritual practice, or your ability to maintain perfect thoughts. You are worthy simply because you exist as an expression of universal consciousness. Breaking free from the pattern of trying to earn love requires a fundamental shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "What must I do to deserve love?" begin asking, "How can I open myself to receive the love that's already here?" This subtle but powerful change moves you from a place of lack and striving to one of abundance and acceptance. The habit of earning love often stems from early experiences where love felt conditional. Perhaps you learned that approval came only with achievement, or affection was withdrawn when you didn't meet certain expectations. These experiences created a template for how you relate to all forms of love, including divine love. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward healing them. As you release the need to earn love, you might initially feel vulnerable or even guilty, as if you're getting away with something you haven't worked for. These feelings are normal and actually signal that you're moving in the right direction. True divine love often feels too good to be true to our conditioned minds. Allow yourself to sit with these uncomfortable feelings without trying to fix or change them. Consider how a flower grows. It doesn't strive or struggle to deserve the sunlight and rain that nourish it. It simply opens itself to receive what naturally flows toward it. Your relationship with divine love can be just as natural and effortless. This doesn't mean you won't take inspired action or engage in practices that nurture your spiritual connection. The difference is that these actions come from a place of joy and self-expression rather than obligation or attempting to earn worth. When you stop trying to earn love, you create space for genuine connection with the divine. Your prayers become conversations rather than negotiations. Your meditation becomes communion rather than performance. Your service to others flows from fullness rather than attempting to fill a void. This is the natural state of being that the universe has always intended for you. The love you seek is not waiting for you to become perfect or to complete some cosmic checklist. It's waiting for you to simply stop, breathe, and receive what has always been yours. Let go of the need to prove yourself worthy. Release the endless spiritual to-do list. Divine love flows most freely when you simply allow yourself to be exactly as you are, knowing that you are already and always have been completely loved. Your role is not to earn love, but to remove the barriers you've built against receiving it. As you practice accepting love without condition, you'll find that the universe has been waiting to shower you with more blessings than you could have imagined. This is your inheritance, a love so vast and unconditional that it requires nothing from you except your willingness to receive it. Trust dissolves the need to control outcomes. The deepest resistance to receiving universal love often stems from our persistent need to control outcomes. We've been conditioned to believe that if we don't maintain a tight grip on every aspect of our lives, everything will fall apart. This illusion of control creates tension, anxiety, and ultimately blocks the natural flow of abundance and support that the universe constantly offers. When we release our grip on controlling outcomes, we create space for magic to unfold. Trust acts as the bridge between our limiting beliefs and the infinite possibilities that exist beyond our careful planning. It's like learning to float in water. The moment we stop struggling and trust that we'll stay afloat, our body naturally rises to the surface. The same principle applies to life itself. The universe operates through perfect order, even when things appear chaotic to our limited perspective. Every sunset, every changing season, every beating heart functions without our intervention. These natural rhythms demonstrate the underlying intelligence that governs all of existence. By extending this recognition to our personal lives, we begin to understand that the same force that keeps planets in orbit is fully capable of guiding our path. Living in flow state becomes possible when we trade control for trust. Flow isn't about passive inaction. It's about inspired action that arises naturally from a place of alignment. When we trust the process, we become more attuned to subtle guidance and intuitive nudges. We stop forcing solutions and instead allow answers to emerge organically. This state of receptivity opens us to possibilities we couldn't have conceived through logical planning alone. Fear often masquerades as the need for control. We worry that if we don't manage every detail, we'll face disappointment or failure. Yet paradoxically, our tightest grip often leads to the very outcomes we're trying to avoid. Trust invites us to examine these fears and recognize them as outdated protection mechanisms. As we build trust in the universe's support, these fears gradually lose their power over us. The practice of releasing control begins with small steps. Start by identifying areas where you can loosen your grip slightly. Perhaps it's allowing your day to unfold without rigid scheduling, or not immediately reacting when things don't go as planned. Notice how much energy you conserve when you're not constantly trying to manipulate circumstances into your preferred outcome. Trust also involves accepting that sometimes the universe's plan differs from our own. And that's okay. What appears as a setback often reveals itself as a setup for something better. By remaining open to unexpected possibilities, we allow life to surprise us with its wisdom and generosity. The universe's vision for our lives is far grander than our limited perspective can imagine. Developing trust requires patience and practice. It's about building a new relationship with uncertainty, seeing it not as an enemy to be conquered, but as a field of infinite potential. As trust deepens, we experience a profound shift in how we move through life. When we truly trust, we understand that everything is always working out for our highest good, even when appearances suggest otherwise. This trust creates a foundation of peace that remains steady, regardless of external circumstances. We no longer need to micromanage every detail because we're confident in the loving intelligence that orchestrates our lives. The dissolution of control opens the gateway to genuine freedom. We discover that what we sought through control, peace, security, fulfillment, actually comes through letting go. In this space of trust, we experience the universe's love not as something to chase or earn, but as the very essence of who we are. Receiving becomes natural when you feel worthy. The path to receiving universal abundance begins with a profound recognition of your inherent worth. Many of us have grown up believing we must prove our value, achieve certain milestones, or transform ourselves before we deserve life's gifts. This deeply ingrained pattern of unworthiness creates an invisible barrier between us and the natural flow of universal blessings. Your worthiness isn't something you need to earn or develop. It's your birthright. Just as a flower doesn't question its right to bloom or a bird doesn't doubt its ability to sing, you were born completely worthy of love, abundance, and all forms of goodness. The universe doesn't measure your worth based on your achievements, appearance, or social status. You are worthy simply because you exist as a unique expression of divine consciousness. When you begin to embrace your intrinsic worth, receiving becomes as natural as breathing. Think of how easily you breathe without consciously telling your body to inhale and exhale. This same effortlessness applies to receiving when you release the belief that you must somehow qualify for life's gifts. The universe is constantly offering its abundance, just as air is always available for breathing. Your only task is to remain open and receptive. Healing unworthiness often requires gentle patience with yourself as you unlearn years of conditional thinking. Notice the subtle ways you might reject compliments, minimize your achievements, or feel guilty about receiving help from others. These are indicators of unworthiness patterns that can be transformed through consistent self-awareness and compassion. Each time you catch yourself in these patterns, pause and remind yourself of your inherent value. The practice of receiving starts with small moments. Allow someone to hold the door for you without feeling the need to immediately reciprocate. Accept a genuine compliment with a simple thank you instead of deflecting it. Take an extra moment to enjoy the warmth of sunshine on your face or the beauty of a flower without feeling you need to earn these simple pleasures. These seemingly minor acts of receiving help rewire your nervous system to accept greater abundance. As your sense of worth strengthens, you'll notice the universe responding with increased opportunities, synchronicities, and blessings. This isn't because you've suddenly become more deserving. It's because you've aligned with your natural state of worthiness. The universe has always been offering these gifts. You've simply opened yourself to receiving them. Creating new worth. Affirming habits helps anchor this shift in consciousness. Start your day by acknowledging your inherent value before any action or achievement. Treat yourself with the same kindness and respect you would offer a beloved friend. Notice and appreciate the unique qualities that make you who you are, understanding that your worth isn't dependent on these qualities, but enhanced by them. The relationship between worthiness and receiving operates like a garden. Your sense of worth is the fertile soil in which all forms of abundance can grow. By tending to this inner garden through self-love and acceptance, you create optimal conditions for receiving universal blessings. Water your worth daily with gentle acknowledgement, pull out the weeds of self-doubt with compassion, and watch how naturally abundance blooms in your life. Remember that feeling worthy doesn't mean feeling superior to others. It means recognizing that, like everyone else, you are a precious part of the universal tapestry. As you embrace your worth, you'll find yourself better able to celebrate others' successes and share in their joy, knowing there is more than enough abundance for everyone. This expansive state of being worthy and allowing others their worthiness creates a powerful field of receptivity in your life. Your journey to receiving begins and ends with this simple truth. You are worthy because you exist. As you align with this truth, the universe's endless gifts flow to you with grace and ease, requiring no effort beyond your willingness to receive them. Universal abundance seeks those who expect it. The universe operates on the principle of expectation, constantly mirroring back to us what we deeply believe we deserve and can receive. Like a magnet drawn to its opposite pole, abundance naturally gravitates toward those who maintain an unwavering expectation of goodness flowing into their lives. This isn't about forcing positive thoughts or denying reality. It's about aligning with the natural state of plenty that exists all around us. When we approach life with an expectation of abundance, we tune our awareness to notice the countless opportunities and resources already present in our environment. Think of how a garden flourishes when given the right conditions. Sunlight, water, and nutrients naturally flow to support growth. Similarly, universal abundance seeks expression through those who remain open and expectant of its manifestation. Our expectations shape our reality more profoundly than most realize. If we believe resources are scarce and must be hoarded, we create tension and resistance that actually blocks the natural flow of abundance. Conversely, when we trust in the unlimited nature of universal supply, we relax into a state of receptivity that allows prosperity to find us effortlessly. This shift in perspective requires releasing deeply ingrained scarcity beliefs that may have been passed down through generations or reinforced by challenging experiences. These limiting beliefs often masquerade as practical wisdom. Money doesn't grow on trees. There's never enough to go around. You have to work hard for everything you get. While there's value in being responsible stewards of resources, these scarcity-based mindsets actually create the very limitations they warn against. Instead, we can choose to align with the natural abundance that sustains all life. Look at nature. Trees don't strain to produce fruit, flowers don't struggle to bloom, and rivers don't force their flow. There is an inherent generosity built into the fabric of existence. When we expect this generosity to express itself in our lives, we naturally align with its flow. Gratitude plays a vital role in maintaining this abundant expectation. By acknowledging and appreciating the prosperity already present in our lives, we strengthen our connection to the universal supply. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect or denying challenges. It's about training our awareness to recognize the abundance that exists alongside any temporary limitations. The universe responds to your deepest expectations, not just your surface thoughts or words. If you secretly believe you don't deserve abundance or that it's wrong to receive easily, these underlying beliefs will override any conscious attempts to attract prosperity. This is why it's essential to examine and release any hidden resistance to receiving. Consider how a child naturally expects their needs to be met. There's no doubt or questioning, just a pure expectation that life will provide. As we grow older, we often lose this innate trust and replace it with worry and doubt. By reclaiming this childlike expectation while maintaining mature wisdom, we create the perfect conditions for abundance to flow. Remember that abundance isn't limited to material wealth. It includes love, joy, creativity, opportunities, relationships, and all forms of goodness. When you expect abundance in one area, it often creates a ripple effect that enhances all aspects of life. The universe delights in surprising those who maintain an expectation of good with even more than they imagined possible. Your role is simply to maintain this positive expectation while taking inspired action when prompted. This isn't about passive waiting, but about moving through life with an underlying trust in universal supply. As you align with this truth, you'll find yourself naturally drawn to situations, people, and opportunities that support your highest good. The universe is inherently abundant, and this abundance seeks expression through those who expect and welcome it. By maintaining this awareness and releasing scarcity beliefs, you become a natural channel for prosperity in all its forms. Trust that you are meant to experience abundance effortlessly, and watch as the universe confirms this truth in countless ways. Love from Source requires no striving or proof. The deepest truth about Source love is its unconditional nature. It simply exists without requirements or prerequisites. Like the sun that shines equally on everything beneath it, divine love radiates continuously whether we acknowledge it or not. We've been conditioned to believe we must earn love through achievement, good behavior, or proving our worth. This fundamental misunderstanding creates an exhausting cycle of striving that actually blocks us from experiencing the love that's already there. Source love is our natural inheritance, as inherent to our being as breathing. Just as we don't need to earn the right to breathe or prove we deserve air, we don't need to justify our worthiness of divine love. It flows freely as the very essence of who we are. When we release the need to strive and prove, we create space to simply be present with this love that has always been our foundation. The shift from doing to being is critical in experiencing Source love. Rather than constantly taking action to demonstrate our value, we can rest in the knowing that we are already complete. This doesn't mean we stop taking inspired action or pursuing growth. Rather, we do so from a place of wholeness instead of lack. Our actions become expressions of love, rather than attempts to earn it. We often resist this simple truth because it seems too easy. Surely something as profound as divine love must require effort, sacrifice, or special qualifications. This resistance itself becomes a barrier to receiving. The paradox is that by trying so hard to be worthy of love, we reinforce the false belief that we're somehow separate from it. Source love isn't something we need to reach for. It's what we're made of. Self-acceptance is the gateway to experiencing this effortless love more fully. When we embrace ourselves exactly as we are, including our perceived flaws and imperfections, we align with the unconditional nature of Source love. This doesn't mean we become complacent about growth, but rather that we grow from a foundation of acceptance rather than rejection. We can want to evolve while simultaneously being at peace with who we are now. The practice of being, rather than proving, involves regular moments of simply existing without agenda. This might look like sitting quietly, walking in nature, or engaging in activities purely for joy rather than achievement. It means catching ourselves when we slip into performing or trying to demonstrate our value, and gently returning to simple presence. Over time, we begin to feel source love as our natural state, rather than something we need to earn. Many spiritual traditions speak of grace, the freely given gift of divine love that requires nothing from us except openness to receive it. This grace is always available, but our striving often creates static that prevents us from tuning into its frequency. When we quiet the inner taskmaster that demands we prove our worth, we can hear the steady broadcast of source love more clearly. Our relationship with source love can be like that of a flower to the sun, natural, effortless, and mutually enhancing. The flower doesn't doubt whether it deserves sunlight or try to earn it through better blooming. It simply opens to receive what's freely given, and in doing so, fulfills its natural purpose. Similarly, when we release the need to strive for love, we naturally express more love, creating a beautiful cycle of receiving and giving. This shift from earning to being takes practice and patience. Years of conditioning don't dissolve overnight, but each time we choose to rest in our inherent worthiness rather than prove it, we strengthen our connection to source love. Each moment we spend simply being rather than doing becomes a declaration of trust in the love that requires no striving or proof. Remember that you are not separate from source love. You are an expression of it. Your very existence is proof enough of your worthiness to receive it abundantly. Let go of the need to demonstrate your value and simply open to the love that's already there, waiting to be recognized and received. Grace flows when you release the need to struggle. There exists a profound misconception in human consciousness that anything worthwhile must come through struggle and hardship. We've been conditioned to believe that success, love, and fulfillment must be earned through blood, sweat, and tears. This deeply ingrained belief system keeps us trapped in patterns of unnecessary resistance and blocks the natural flow of grace in our lives. Grace is the universe's effortless support system, a divine current that carries us toward our highest good when we allow it. It's the invisible force that makes things fall into place without strain, that brings solutions before we even realize we have problems, and that orchestrates circumstances in ways more perfect than we could have planned. Yet we often resist this grace by believing we must fight for everything we want. When we release the need to struggle, we open ourselves to receive this ever-present flow of support. Think of how a leaf floats downstream. It doesn't fight against the current or try to control its direction. It simply allows itself to be carried by the water's natural movement. Similarly, life becomes smoother when we stop paddling upstream and learn to flow with the divine current that's always moving in our favor. The myth of struggle is perpetuated by our ego's need to feel in control and take credit for outcomes. We believe that if we haven't suffered for something, we haven't truly earned it. But this mindset creates unnecessary resistance and actually blocks the very things we're trying to achieve. The universe operates on principles of ease and grace, not friction and force. Consider how nature functions. Flowers don't strain to bloom, birds don't struggle to fly, and trees don't force themselves to grow. Everything in the natural world unfolds with an inherent grace and timing. As humans, we are part of this same natural system, yet we often remove ourselves from it through our belief that we must struggle to succeed. Embracing ease doesn't mean becoming passive or lazy. Rather, it means aligning ourselves with the natural flow of life and allowing grace to guide our actions. When we release the need to struggle, we actually become more effective because we're no longer wasting energy fighting against the current. We can accomplish more with less effort because we're working with life rather than against it. The path to releasing struggle begins with awareness. Notice where you're making things harder than they need to be. Observe where you're pushing when you could be allowing, where you're forcing when you could be flowing. Pay attention to the beliefs that make you think everything must be difficult to be valuable. Grace flows most abundantly when we cultivate trust in life's natural processes. This trust allows us to relax our grip on control and surrender to a higher wisdom. When we stop trying to micromanage every detail and instead allow life to unfold naturally, we often find that things work out better than we could have planned. Remember that struggle is not a badge of honor. It's often a sign that we're resisting the natural flow of life. True strength lies not in how hard we can push, but in how deeply we can trust and allow. When we release the need to struggle, we create space for miracles to enter. We allow the universe to support us in ways our limited minds couldn't have imagined. The graceful life is available to everyone, but it requires a fundamental shift in consciousness. It asks us to question our addiction to struggle and open ourselves to the possibility that life can be easy. As we embrace this truth, we naturally align with the effortless flow of universal grace, and life begins to unfold with remarkable ease and beauty. Divine timing works perfectly without your push. In the grand orchestration of life, divine timing operates with flawless precision, weaving together countless threads of experience into a tapestry more beautiful than we could design ourselves. When we step back and allow this natural timing to unfold, we discover a profound truth. Everything arrives at exactly the right moment, without our desperate pushing or manipulation. The universe operates on its own perfect schedule, one that takes into account not just our individual desires, but the interconnected web of all beings and circumstances. What might seem like a delay or setback often serves as protection, preparation, or redirection towards something far better than what we initially envisioned. Each moment of waiting carries its own gift, offering opportunities for growth, reflection, and deeper understanding. Often, our impatience stems from a limited perspective. We see only a fraction of the picture, while divine timing encompasses the whole. Think of a flower bud. No amount of pulling at its petals will make it bloom faster. It opens in its own time, when all conditions are perfect for its flourishing. Similarly, our dreams and desires manifest when all elements are aligned for their optimal expression. Divine timing teaches us to trust in the wisdom of natural cycles. Just as nature moves through seasons without hurry, our lives flow through periods of action and rest, growth and integration, expansion and contraction. These rhythms aren't random but serve essential purposes in our development. What feels like waiting might actually be a crucial period of inner preparation, strengthening our foundation for what's to come. The key to working with divine timing lies in developing patience and faith. This doesn't mean passive waiting, but rather active trust, maintaining our vision while remaining open to how and when it manifests. It's about staying present and engaged with life as it unfolds, rather than constantly straining toward a future moment we believe will be better than now. Signs and synchronicities often appear to confirm we're in alignment with divine timing. These might come as unexpected opportunities, chance encounters, or subtle intuitive nudges. When we learn to recognize and trust these guideposts, we find ourselves naturally flowing with life's current rather than swimming against it. Releasing our grip on specific timelines allows space for magic to enter. Sometimes the universe has plans far grander than our limited imagination could conceive. By surrendering our need to control when and how things happen, we open ourselves to possibilities beyond our current understanding. This surrender doesn't mean giving up on our dreams, but rather trusting they will manifest in ways and times that serve our highest good. Working with divine timing requires us to heal our relationship with time itself. Many of us carry wounds around timing, beliefs that we're running late, falling behind, or missing out. As we release these fears and trust in the perfect unfolding of our path, we find peace in the present moment, knowing that everything is progressing exactly as it should. The dance with divine timing invites us to shift from forcing to flowing, from rushing to allowing, from anxiety to trust. It asks us to believe that the universe's timing is impeccable, even when we don't understand it. As we embrace this truth, we discover that life becomes more graceful, synchronistic, and filled with pleasant surprises. Our role is simply to remain clear about our intentions while staying flexible about their manifestation. Like a sailor working with the wind rather than fighting against it, we learn to adjust our sails while maintaining our general direction. In this space of trust and allowance, we find that everything we truly need arrives at precisely the perfect moment, without our push. Everything unfolds naturally when you trust life. Life holds an inherent wisdom that far surpasses our limited human understanding. When we learn to trust in this wisdom, we discover that everything unfolds in perfect harmony, without our constant intervention. This natural unfolding is similar to how a flower blooms. It doesn't force its petals open or struggle to grow. Instead, it responds to the rhythms of nature, opening and closing in accordance with the sun, following an intelligence that's encoded in its very being. This same intelligence flows through every aspect of our lives, guiding us toward our highest good when we allow it to lead the way. Trust in life isn't just about passive acceptance. It's an active recognition of the greater forces at work in our existence. When we align ourselves with these forces, we experience a profound sense of ease and flow that makes life feel almost magical. Consider how nature operates in cycles. Seasons change, tides ebb and flow, and planets orbit in their celestial dance. These movements happen without effort or strain, guided by universal laws that maintain perfect balance. Our lives follow similar patterns and rhythms, though we often resist them in our attempt to control every outcome. By observing and honoring these natural cycles in our own lives, we can move through transitions and changes with greater grace and understanding. Building deep trust in life requires us to release our attachment to specific outcomes and timelines. This doesn't mean we become passive observers of our lives, but rather that we learn to co-create with the universe in a more harmonious way. We take inspired action when guided, while remaining open to unexpected possibilities and paths that might lead to even better destinations than we initially imagined. Life has a way of bringing us exactly what we need for our growth and evolution, even when circumstances appear challenging on the surface. Trust allows us to see beyond immediate appearances to recognize the deeper purpose and potential in every situation. When we trust life, we understand that delays, detours, and apparent setbacks often serve to protect us or prepare us for something better. Living in alignment with life's natural flow means developing sensitivity to subtle guidance and intuitive promptings. It's about recognizing when to take action and when to wait, when to speak and when to listen, when to move forward and when to pause for reflection. This alignment comes from a place of inner knowing rather than external pressure or societal expectations. The universe operates through a principle of least effort, where everything happens in the most efficient and harmonious way possible. When we trust this principle, we stop forcing outcomes and learn to move with the current of life rather than against it. This doesn't mean life becomes free of challenges, but rather that we approach these challenges with a different perspective, one that sees them as opportunities for growth and transformation rather than obstacles to overcome. Trust in life develops gradually through experience and observation, as we witness how situations resolve themselves in unexpected ways, how support appears just when needed, and how pieces fall into place without our manipulation. Our trust deepens. Each experience becomes evidence of the universe's inherent benevolence and wisdom. By cultivating trust in life, we create space for miracles and synchronicities to occur. We become more attuned to the subtle ways the universe communicates with us through signs, symbols, and meaningful coincidences. This heightened awareness allows us to navigate life with greater confidence and peace, knowing that we're always being guided toward our highest good. The natural unfolding of life requires us to release our grip on control and surrender to a greater wisdom. This surrender isn't weakness. It's a recognition of our connection to something vast and intelligent that orchestrates the cosmic dance of existence. When we trust life completely, we discover that everything truly does unfold naturally, perfectly, and in divine timing. Universal support comes from allowing, not forcing. The art of allowing is perhaps one of life's most profound yet misunderstood principles. We've been conditioned to believe that making things happen requires force, struggle, and constant effort. Yet, when we observe nature, we see that everything flows with an inherent ease. Flowers don't strain to bloom, rivers don't force their way to the ocean, and trees don't struggle to grow tall. Universal support operates on this same principle of natural flow. When we release our grip on controlling outcomes and surrender to the greater wisdom of life, we create space for magic to unfold. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on our dreams. Instead, it means shifting from a stance of forceful doing to one of allowing and inspired action. Consider how effortlessly breathing happens when we're not thinking about it. The moment we try to control our breath, we create tension and resistance. The same applies to receiving universal support. When we stop trying to manipulate every detail of our lives and trust in the natural order of things, we align with the flow of life's infinite possibilities. The universe operates through the path of least resistance. Like water finding its way around obstacles, universal energy naturally flows toward openings and opportunities. When we force situations or try to control outcomes, we create energetic blockages that prevent this natural flow. By learning to allow, we become like smooth channels through which universal support can easily flow. This shift from forcing to allowing requires a deep trust in life's inherent benevolence. It means believing that the universe is always working in our favor, even when circumstances appear challenging. When we release the need to force outcomes, we open ourselves to receiving support in unexpected and often miraculous ways. Allowing doesn't mean abandoning action altogether. Rather, it means taking inspired action that feels aligned and natural rather than forced and strained. It's the difference between pushing a boulder uphill and steering a boat downstream. Both involve movement, but one works the natural flow while the other works against it. The practice of allowing involves developing sensitivity to the subtle guidance of the universe. This might come through intuitive nudges, synchronicities, or a deep inner knowing. When we learn to recognize and trust these signals, we can move through life with greater ease and grace, knowing when to act and when to wait. Fear often drives our tendency to force things. We worry that if we don't maintain constant control, everything will fall apart. Yet the opposite is true. When we release our tight grip on life, we create space for the universe to support us in ways far beyond our limited perspective. Living in a state of allowing requires presence and awareness. It means staying attuned to the present moment rather than constantly pushing toward future goals. When we're present, we can better recognize the support that's already available to us and flow with life's natural rhythm. This way of living might feel foreign at first, especially if you're used to making things happen through force and will. Start small by practicing allowing in minor situations. Notice how it feels to release control and trust in the natural unfolding of events. As you build this muscle of trust, you'll find it easier to apply in larger areas of your life. Remember that universal support is always available, but it can only reach us to the degree that we're willing to receive it. By releasing the need to force outcomes and embracing the art of allowing, we create the perfect conditions for this support to flow freely into our lives. This is the path to experiencing the effortless abundance and joy that the universe naturally provides. Your natural state is being divinely cherished. The deepest truth of your existence is that you are perpetually held in divine love. This isn't something you need to achieve or become. It's what you already are. Like a fish swimming in the vast ocean, You exist within an infinite field of love that surrounds, sustains, and cherishes you in every moment. This love is your natural state of being, your fundamental essence, and your eternal birthright. Many spend years searching for love outside themselves, not realizing they're already immersed in it. The universe doesn't just love you. You are made of love itself. Every atom of your being, every cell in your body, every thought in your mind is composed of this divine energy of pure love. When you truly understand this, you stop seeking love and start embodying it. Living from this awareness transforms everything. Rather than trying to prove your worth or earn love, you simply allow yourself to be the expression of love that you naturally are. This isn't about doing anything differently. It's about remembering your true nature. Just as a rose doesn't strive to be beautiful, or a bird doesn't effort to fly, you don't need to work at being lovable. It's inherent in who you are. This divine cherishing is constant and unchanging. It doesn't fluctuate based on your actions, achievements, or perceived failures. The universe doesn't love you more when you succeed or less when you stumble. Its love is absolute and unconditional, like the sun that shines equally on everything below. You can't earn more of it or lose it. You can only become more aware of its constant presence. Being divinely cherished means you're always supported, always guided, always held in grace. Even in your darkest moments, this love is there, waiting to be recognized. It's the force that beats your heart, draws breath into your lungs, and orchestrates the infinite complexity of your body without any conscious effort on your part. This same intelligence that maintains your physical existence is constantly working to support your highest good in all areas of life. When you align with this truth, life becomes more effortless. Your relationships improve because you're no longer seeking love from others to fill an imagined void. You're operating from fullness and simply sharing the overflow. Your work becomes more joyful because you're no longer trying to prove your worth through achievement. Your spiritual practice transforms from a seeking to a celebration. This awareness of being divinely cherished also changes how you treat yourself. Self-criticism dissolves in the light of divine love. How can you judge yourself harshly when you understand that every part of you is made of love? Self-care becomes natural because you recognize your body as a sacred vessel of divine expression. Your thoughts become kinder because you're aligned with the loving nature of your true self. Living from this state doesn't mean you'll never face challenges or feel difficult emotions. It means you face life's ups and downs knowing you're always held in love. Like waves on the ocean, your experiences may rise and fall, but your essential nature remains unchanged, always connected to the infinite depth of divine love beneath the surface. Let yourself rest in this truth. You are divinely cherished, not because of anything you've done or will do, but simply because you exist. This is your natural state, your home, your truth. As you embrace this reality more fully, you become a clearer channel for love to flow through you into the world. Your presence becomes a reminder to others of their own divine nature, and your life becomes a testament to the transformative power of knowing you are eternally loved by the universe.